Okay. Um, what was your life like growing up?
I mean, it's pretty much your average, um, middle, middle class, blue collar kids from Birmingham. My dad was an electrician. Mom was kind of a stay-at-home mom. She worked little jobs. She worked at the bank, that kind of stuff. Stayed home with us a lot. Um, I don't know. It's just pretty much normal childhood. Nothing catastrophic. Nothing to. We moved up to. I guess a big change, and probably something that like probably changed me and pushed me towards music was when we lived in Alabama. There was a big emphasis on sports and that sort of thing. And our dad was a musician, that kind of stuff, but we were more into sports and that kind of stuff. My brother and I, when we moved to Indianapolis, I think it was 1998. I was 12 or 13, I was 12 years old, and when we moved up here, it was like a culture shock for both of us. Things were different. The schools we went to were just massive. We went to like a little tiny school in Birmingham, out in the middle of nowhere. When we moved up here, we actually went to Noblesville, and it was this massive school, and it's just a different place. You had kids with a lot of money in that area, and it was just different. It was you don't always fit in when you're the new kid, and especially when there's a lot more focus on money in Hamilton County.
Yes.
And when we first moved here, it was pretty rough in terms of just trying to find which is it's tough when a kid moves to a new place anyways, but trying to find your group amongst a crowd of people like that. It was different, and that's kind of where they had the music programs at the school we went to was kind of a big deal, and that's kind of how we got started. Was just because there really wasn't a focus on music at like the elementary schools and middle schools in Birmingham, because we probably just didn't have the funding and that sort of thing. And when we moved here, it was a big deal, and it was just everywhere. And that's how my brother got his first guitar and got guitar lessons, because he was actually doing it through the school. So it was a good thing, and it kind of opens your eyes too, because coming from like a small town and that sort of thing, and then moving to, not that Noblesville was a big city, but to us it kind of was. Um, it kind of forces you to open up your eyes in terms of kind of when you're in Birmingham, there's a sense of like to be closed-minded, and you're just not exposed to a lot. And then when we moved up here, we were definitely exposed to a lot of different things, and I'm thankful for the move now. Even though it's kind of weird and wasn't the most of comfortable things, it ended up turning out right. So, but normal childhood. Sorry, I got kind of
No, you're
sidetracked there.
fine. If there was one message you wanted people to get from your music, what would it be?
Um, I guess for me, my big thing is I want them to take. I mean, what I take from the music, because I like to listen to my music as well. I know that sounds kind of whatever, but I do. I like to listen to my own music, and what I take from it is a lot of times really different than what other people take from it. Um, and I always enjoy hearing other people's stories. But I guess the one thing that I'd want them to take from it is to take some sort of, um, to hear a song and it gives them some sort of uplifting, whatever song it may be. Even, some of the songs that I write aren't the most, if you listen to them, they always, not always, but a lot of times they kind of start with, like, Ray of Light, for example. I'll just give you an example of a song. Ray of Light is kind of to me, it's an interesting song, and I'll explain what structure that I'm not really, there's never an arrival. And what I'm talking about is there's never a sense of a complete, like, okay, he's arrived at something in the song, like chord structurally. And the song is called Ray of Light, and I never say the word Ray of Light until towards the end of the, I mean, it's about the end of the song, and that's at the point where I finally arrive at a cadence, is what they call it in music. But the whole song is kind of about just the society that it seems that we live in today, where it's just like, you know, you turn on the news, it just seems like you don't, you know, all you see is negative, all you see is darkness and that kind of thing. So the whole song never cadences, and then finally I say there must be some ray of light, and it cadences, and it's a pretty big. When it happens, it feels good to me. It feels really good when I hear it. But the whole song, you listen to if you listen to the first 2 minutes of that song, it's kind of slow and gloomy, and you would never think that by the end it would have this pretty grand ending. And I know, like, on a grand scale, it's not too grand because it's just me and a guitar, but if you really listen to it, you'll hear how big a grand ending it is. But I guess, going back to your question, the biggest focus for me is more of a theoretical type. I'm kind of a theoretical type of writer. I think about those kinds of things when I'm writing music. Like, it's more like a painter in terms of trying to paint colors and images, rather than a hooky line or, you know, so it's more of just like a listening experience that they have. I don't care if they're really listening to the words, but I want them just kind of listening to the whole thing as it is and kind of letting it paint those pictures, and whatever they see is what they see. If that makes any sense at all.
Yeah, it does. Trust me, it does completely. Let's see. What is the weirdest experience you've had as an artist?
Weirdest experience I've ever had as an artist? I guess I would say just in terms of writing, sometimes I feel like I don't even write my own songs. Like, it just, not always, but sometimes you'll have a song, and I think every songwriter can, like, find, they know what I'm talking about.
Sounds like Daddy's
When you write a song, sometimes something will just come to you, and it's like, oh my God, I could not believe I just wrote that, you know? So I guess that's probably my weirdest experience, is just having some of those almost out-of-body experiences where you write something really good, and you're like, there's no way I wrote that. So I guess that's probably the weirdest thing.
Okay.
That happens to me.
How did you guys come up with the name One and the Same?
One and the Same actually was a name that my dad came up with. When we were younger, he kind of wanted to be involved, and we were like, yeah, Dad, you're not cool, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know, we could tell that, you could definitely tell that Dad wanted to be a part of it, but he didn't feel like he was, so he told us, he was like, hey, what about One and the Same, trying to help us come up with a name. The first name we actually went by was To the Crowd, and that's a pretty bad name. Not that One and the Same is any better, but he threw out One and the Same. We both liked it, so we kind of stuck with One and the Same, but we're up to suggestions if anybody has any better names.
Sorry if you hear my nieces in the background. They're arguing about something. I don't know. Let's see. How would you classify your music? Would it be like pop, or would you consider it something else?
Well, I mean, it would probably fall under a couple of different genres. I mean, I've got some songs that definitely would fall under the pop genre, but I mean, it would probably fall under alternative rock type music.